Hey guys. Alright, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you, and I'm going to put to rest all of these rumors that Battleforge is a pay-to-win game. Remember that deck I made in the last video? So it was only free-to-play cards, 100% free the game with the game, and it was tomb cards, which once you're PVE rank 4, you just get the tomb cards for free. So this deck that I'm going to use in this match, 100% free, didn't pay anything for it. Now this game is Sunbridge. You can't even play it immediately. You have to first beat Crusade, and then you play this map. This is on expert difficulty. It cannot get harder than this, and I'm playing it with 100% free cards. I'm playing this map with a friend, XX Nod XX. He's using regular cards and full upgrades and paid or whatever. But this is an equally balanced map. Both sides have basically the same task to do, and I'm going to accomplish it with only free cards. And you're going to see I really don't struggle at all. So, PvE and PvP, in Battleforge in general, these power generators called power wells are so much more important than these monuments. Now sure, monuments give you stronger units, and that's awesome, and you need that to win the game, but the sooner you build power wells, the faster you gain power. The faster you gain power, the faster you can make monuments and beat the level. So if you think you're going to win the game by building monuments for stronger units, no, you're immediately committing all of your power to these orbs, which don't give you any power. You're going to have to wait like a million years just to get enough power to summon a unit. So first, try to capture as many power wells as you can, because that will speed up the entire game process. Okay, the first thing I do is take out the units and immediately take out the camp, the Twilight Infestation. I'd rather not try to beat the map with enemies keep on coming at my base. So I'm going to first take out this base camp. I'm going to ignore the plot, what he's saying, what's going on over here. I'm going to completely ignore all that because that's not important right now. Right now I just want you to understand the basics and what I'm trying to accomplish. You'll notice I'm not going here. I don't want to have to deal with these archers yet because I know there's a power well over here. And like I said, your immediate goal in PvE and PvP are to get power wells because then the game just goes faster. You have more power. I'm going to speed up a bit. Here we go. I'm going to cast an Ensnaring Roots spell on him. The spell is not a free-to-play card, but it did come in my tomb decks. I didn't pay 1 cent for it. And this guy drops. The reason I rooted him is because he's a melee attacker, and this way he wasn't able to reach my units. I build the power well, which you'll see immediately takes 100 power out of my pool, but it speeds up my power return process, and ultimately throughout the game I'm going to end up with a lot more power because of having that well. I'm going to speed up again. Now I'm going to try to snipe these archers out one group at a time. The reason is because when archers are mounted on a wall, they take like 80 or 90% less damage. You'll see I have all these amazing shooters. Windweavers are probably the best shooters in tier 1, and it's taken them so long to kill one squad. And look how much damage my units took. I have to even spend a heal just because of one squad before. So walls are really strong to have. In PvE, they're really, really important. In PvP, well, we'll get there, but I really don't recommend making walls. So I took out those two. I'm going to come back and heal a little bit, and then I'm going to come snipe some more. Notice I'm not building any towers. Why is that? In a lot of games, you immediately build towers to defend your base. But other games are different than Battleforge, because in Battleforge, look, when these units die, I immediately gain power in my void. Their death, 90% of their original power cost, goes right back into my void, and eventually does come back to me. But when I build a tower, and it's just sitting there, it didn't die, so I won't get that power back. So it's like I just destroyed power, and I can't use it for the rest of the match. So I'd rather try to intercept the enemy before they get to my base and kill them with my actual units which can move and accomplish things, rather than just have something sitting here and binding power. So I don't believe in towers for PvP or PvE. Here's another case of ensnaring roots. I rooted the enemy because they're all melee attackers and cannot shoot. Back to the tower thing. There are certain maps where you do need to defend for like 15-20 minutes, so then sure, yeah, put great towers in your deck. Or make offensive towers. There are such a thing in Battleforge. But just to place towers down to defend, that's just not smart. You'll see Nod didn't do it either. He didn't build towers either. He actually spent some money on his cards. He has some healers over here. Notice he built the wells first. Like I said, you immediately want to get the wells up. And you're going to see I'm not going to go for the monument first, because why bind the 150 power in a structure that's not going to give me back anything? The reason I'm focusing on the wall here is because if you destroy enough segments of the wall, these archers fall off the wall and the whole thing collapses, and then it'll be much easier to focus them down. Because remember, they're very resistant to damage when they're on the walls. So I'll speed this up a bit. And here I'm sniping out the archers one at a time now. See how much faster they die. Of course, I'm going to grab the wells first. And I'm going to come over here where there's another well. Now this tower actually knocks back units and does a lot of damage. So I'm going to try to spread out my units a little bit so they don't all get knocked back each shot. I did take a treasure chest. Not a very good job at microing. I rooted this unit one more time so that he can't attack me. And now I finally spread out my units a little more. So only some of them are getting attacked, and sure enough the tower gets destroyed. I still did not build a monument because I want to get all the wells that I can up first, because that'll mean so much more power. Notice I have 6 Windweavers here. They cost 70 power apiece. That's a lot of power bound. 420 power. Once I defeat the next base, I'm actually going to kill them all just to get back 90% of that into my void, which will be great for me because then I can build much stronger units. I make a really cool tower over here. It's completely free to play. It's called the Morklite Trap, and it actually explodes outwards and does a heaping amount of damage to the enemy units. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to tempt them into walking into the trap, and then I'm going to blow them to smithereens. Watch. Sweetness. Now, of course, once the building blows up, boom, all the power from it goes straight back into my void power. I'm going to heal up a little bit, and then I'm going to come here and claim these wells. Of course, taking wells first and the monument last. Another knockback tower. Let's try to spread out a little bit. Now we don't want to go too far past here, because there is a massive enemy army here, and it's a very strong one. And if I let them come here, I'm doomed. Game over. Like, they'll really wipe out all my bases. So rather than that, now I'm going to probably kill off all my Windweavers. There you go. Now look at my void. Poof, jumped over 400 power. And I immediately get a ton of power. It's coming back really fast now. So I quickly build up the 3 power wells first. And once I have the chance, I build my 3rd orb, a shadow orb, which will give me access to that Corsair, that flying ship that I got in my tomb deck. I have a lot of power. I made 1 ground unit and the Corsair for a mix. I'm also going to wait till I have enough power to cast spells, because spells are really useful in Battleforge. And there's a really big army up there. It'll take a very long time to amass an army large enough to take them on. But with the aid of spells, it'll be much easier to accomplish. And this isn't even half of the army. Look at this thing. So I immediately cast a thunderstorm, which does devastating damage to enemies. This building is terrible for flying units. It really does heavy damage to them. So I'm trying to keep my Corsair out of its range. And with the aid of my Corsair, these units are doing a lot of damage, and I'm healing them. These Twilight Creeps do a ton of damage. Also to flying units, so. Well, the army's gone. Now I just have to deal with these 3 towers and these 2 flying units, which I oinked because they're really hurting my units. And I want to get those towers down. I decided to take this anti-air tower head on with my shooter, and it goes down. Watch the damage they're going to do to my Corsair. Look at this. No? Oh, here they go. Look at that. That was just one of them. A lot of damage. Well, I'll probably kill them first anyhow. I killed my drones so that I can get back void power, and that'll let me build up my tier 4. Which is exciting, because then I can make really big units. Of course, I took the well first. Always take the well first. Let's speed up to get over this waiting period while I amass power. As you go up in tiers, not only are the units stronger, but they also cost a lot more power to compensate. So it's good, because at that point in the game you already have so much power gained from wells and from killing units that you do have a lot of power. Just for the record, our goal is for each of us to destroy this Ami power shrine. Once we do, these gates will blow up and we can enter here and try to take out the boss. We're first going to have to take out his protection, which will kill this bubble, and then we can attack him. Here I can make giant worms, which are 300 power apiece. But again, since I amassed so much power from all of my power wells, and I killed all of my weaker units, I got the power to make them. In this attack, I'm not going to bring any ground units because there are a ton of ground counters here. And this way, I'm literally just sniping at everything. Only the towers pretty much can attack me. All these units are hopeless. Now, they do have units that have the ability to paralyze other units, so they're paralyzing me, but they can't attack me. Only the buildings and this guy can attack me in the air. These dudes are big. Graphics in this game are pretty sweet. Now we're going to go and try to take out this anti-air tower. Of course, my units are all getting paralyzed by those units. But still, we take out that tower. And now I'll just speed this up as we clean up the whole mess here. They're all hopeless. They're stuck on the ground, and I'm just going to dragon them all to death. That's a very powerful healing spell I just cast. Cost 150 power, but that comes right back into my void. I destroyed the shrine, and now we both have access to the main base. Notice I summoned some ground units because to cast spells you need ground presence. Not to mention it's pretty handy to have ground units sometimes, especially towards big armies sometimes. I'm focusing out his big shooters, or big units rather, first because they're really annoying to deal with. Once they're done, I'll dominate everything. Now I dominate the sky, which is pretty awesome. Now at this point in the level you have to take out these 3 tree fiends at exactly the same moment, because if you kill one and not the others, they'll just regenerate. They'll just pop back up alive. Watch. He's going to pop right back up. There he goes. So you have to kill all 3 at the same time, and then his shield falls. So it's a process. But at this point, we both have a lot of energy. I can keep casting heals. He has this massive army of grinders. And it looks like we should be able to get this army down soon. Of course, Nod's not really focusing well. He's leaving this guy alone. He needs to be focusing this guy. I think he finally gets it. Let's speed it up a little. Finally they die and his shield is gone, and now we can take out the boss. He doesn't look happy about the situation, I have to say. Really doesn't look... He looks blue. Anyhow, I'm casting buffing spells now on my dragons to give them extra strength. I think we have another buff coming soon. Half speed. Oh yeah. Take that, Mora. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our first PvE match. I'm not going to be generally casting replays. In general, replays of both PvE and PvP are going to be on my other channel, Farok BF. On this channel, I'm just going to give mainly tutorials on how to beat things in intelligent ways. Maybe you'll see an occasional match. But that's the general idea in PvE. You want to build up wells. Unless it's a strictly defensive game, you don't want to build towers because those absorb your power and it will make the games take so much longer. Had I started out by building towers, we would not finish it in 19.5 minutes. It would take us 25, 26 minutes. And why waste that extra time? Rush as fast as you can, try to collect all the power wells you can, and only then build the power orbs and make stronger units. That's generally the way to play Battleforge PVE, I'm sorry. And with Mora dead, it doesn't matter who we kill, the game will end. Or maybe it does. No. Replay has ended. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.